Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Monday, December the 8th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local market is set for a negative start to the week with ASX futures down 0.25%. Global shares were mostly higher on Friday ahead of this week's highly anticipated Federal Reserve interest rate decision. The latest read on US inflation came in line with forecasts, boosting expectations that the Fed will make another cut, and that saw the US dollar weaken further while stocks rose on Wall Street. All three indices advancing for the second straight week, with the S&P up 0.33% for the week, the Nasdaq rising 0.9% and the Dow was up 0.5%. Shares of Warner Brothers Discovery climbed after Netflix agreed to buy its TV film studios and streaming division for $72 billion, ending a weeks-long bidding war. Netflix shares closed lower while Paramount Skydance, one of the biggest bidders for Warner Brothers, tumbled almost 10%. Shares of Southwest Airlines climbed as it lowered its FY25 EBIT forecast, citing lower revenue due to the US government shutdown and higher fuel prices. Ulta Beauty shares surged after the beauty retailer raised its annual sales and profit forecasts. And shares of lingerie maker Victoria's Secret also surged as it raised its annual sales and profit forecast, betting on strong demand. And expectations of a Fed rate cut saw the gold miners rise, well, most of them, while energy companies also were higher, led by Halliburton. Well, US consumer spending increased 0.3% in September, adding to 3 straight months of gains, while a lacklustre labour market and rising costs of living curbed demand. Meanwhile, annual inflation rose at its fastest pace in nearly 1.5 years in September, with the Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index increasing 0.3%. And consumer confidence rose further, with 5 to 10-year inflation expectations falling to 3.2%. In response to the latest economic data, US National Economic Council Director and Fed Chair candidate Kevin Hassett has said it's a good time for the Fed to cautiously reduce rates and what he expects the central bank to do this week. In commenting on forecasts of economic growth of 3% in the first and second quarters of 26, he said, "I would be disappointed with 3. It could easily be a percentage higher." Well, US Treasuries weakened on Friday, lifting yields to multi-week highs as investors braced for signals of a shallower easing cycle and expected the US 2-year. The yield rising to 3.56%. The 10-year was at 4.14. Markets pricing an 85% chance that the Fed funds rate will be cut by 25 basis points at this week's meeting, with a total of 3 more cuts in the easing cycle. The US dollar slipped on Friday. The Aussie is trading at 66.4 US cents. Oil prices rose to a 2-week high on Friday on expectations that a rate cut would boost economic growth and energy demand. Brent crude futures up around 1% to $63 a barrel. Copper was up more than 1.5%. Iron ore fell 0.5% to $106 US a tonne. And gold has more recently fallen back below $4,200 an ounce. And Bitcoin, that is trading at around 91,000 US dollars. Locally this week we get wage and labour insights from CBA today. Tomorrow sees NAB's business survey for November, but the focus will be on the Reserve Bank interest rate decision later in the day, with the central bank expected to keep the cash rate on hold at 3.6%. CBA releases the Household Spending Insights survey on Thursday, and we get jobs data for November. Overseas today, China's international trade data. Tuesday sees US job openings for September. Wednesday, China consumer and producer prices and the US Fed's interest rate decision, as well as the Bank of Canada's rate decision. Thursday, US international trade balance. That is your week ahead. We'll see you again tomorrow.